Are you getting forced to watch the UFC this weekend? Listen, if you're new to watching the UFC, if you're like a beginner or you're trying to support your boyfriend in his hobbies, I'm going to give you the spark notes on everything you need to know about this weekend's card. This weekend for UFC 309, we're seeing Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. In this video, I'm going to cover the main event and the co-main. Our main event is going to be a heavyweight fight, so they're going to weigh between 206 and 265 pounds. These are big, big boys. Now, this fight was supposed to happen about a year ago, but unfortunately, Jon Jones got injured. He tore his pec, so we are getting the fight now. Now, while there is some hype around this fight, I would say it would be a much more exciting matchup if it was 5 years ago. While both of these fighters have large legacies, they have been inactive for a long period of time. Jon Jones hasn't fought in about 2 years, and for Stipe, it's been more like 4. Now, one of the main narratives for this fight is that Jon Jones has been avoiding a fight with our boy Tom Aspinall here. Now, if you're a UFC champion, but you can't fight for a long period of time and you want to retain your belt like Jon Jones did, what they'll typically do is elect an interim champion. Once the champion comes back, the interim champion and the returning champion have a unification title fight. That's typically how it works. However, Jon Jones is coming back and he is not fighting Tom, he wants to fight Stipe. So a lot of people are like, what the heck, Jon? Are you afraid of Tom? Are you a scaredy cat? So that's the hot gossip behind this fight. But both Jon and Stipe have incredible legacies behind them, and they're both very close to retirement. So this fight is more to cement their legacy, to close a chapter, to end an era in the heavyweight division. If you look down here, you can see both of their ages and records. All right, let's talk about Jon Bones Jones first. He is an incredible fighter, he has a massive legacy behind him, and he's definitely in contention for the greatest fighter of all time. And this man has been in the UFC forever. He was the youngest champion ever in the UFC at 23, and he has the longest unbeaten streak in UFC history. The only real loss he has is because he did an illegal move called a 12-6 elbow, which is an elbow that goes just straight up and down. Interestingly enough, the 12-6 elbow just became legal. So it would be kind of fun if he did it in this next fight. Oh, also, this is Dana White, president and CEO of the UFC. Dana White loves Jon Jones. Now, if you've heard of Jon Jones before, you're probably thinking, I've heard some not great things about him. Jon Jones's career is littered with controversies. He had his belt taken away from him 3 times due to disciplinary action. His controversies have included PED and steroid use. He assaulted a waitress one time. He did a hit and run on a pregnant lady. And then he also has had some very notable DV incidents. He's also kind of known for some dirty moves in the ring, whether that be illegal eye pokes or legal oblique kicks. So Jon Jones, incredible fighter, not so nice of a boy. Stipe Miocic, however, is a very nice boy. He's known by many as the greatest heavyweight of all time. He has the most title defenses in heavyweight history. He's been super athletic like his whole life. He was a great college wrestler. He almost got scouted into the MLB, and then he started in boxing where he became a Golden Gloves boxing champion. So in the octagon, you can expect great wrestling and boxing from Stipe. Stipe is a full-time firefighter and paramedic, and he's just really nice. And I'm not just saying that because he's not Jon Jones. Like, plenty of people will talk about how nice Stipe is. He doesn't like really trash talk. He's just really down to earth. Stipe is 42, which is pretty old for an MMA fighter, and he hasn't fought in 4 years. So we're gonna see if he's still got it. Now let's move on to our co-main event. This is Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Okay, here's the rundown. This is a lightweight fight at 155 pounds, which is like a medium-sized weight class. Now, this is not the first time these two boys have fought. They fought back in 2021, and it was a really exciting fight. Chandler absolutely dominated the first round, but he got caught and got knocked out in the second round. So they're running it back, and it really could be anyone's game. This is a 5-round fight, and these are just 2 fan favorites. They're gonna put on a really exciting fight, and they both want the chance at a title shot if they win. Now, notably, Michael Chandler has not fought in about 2 years because he's been waiting for a fight with Conor McGregor over here. But McGregor's really just been leading Chandler on for 2 years, and at this point, Michael Chandler's like, you know what, we need to fight some other people. On the bottom here, you can see their ages and records. Let's talk about Charles Oliveira first. He is definitely a fan favorite. He has a really inspiring story, and he is currently number 2 in the lightweight rankings. He grew up in a really poor area of Brazil, and he had a lot of medical conditions when he was younger. In fact, when he was 7, a doctor said that he would never be able to play sports. Charles didn't take no for an answer, and he started training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when he was 12. His family would actually sell snacks and pieces of cardboard on the street in order to fund his training. Charles's story is really just one about persistence and determination. It took him 28 fights in order to get a title shot. He became champion back in 2021, but unfortunately lost the belt pretty quickly after that because he missed weight for a fight. He is super nice, he's very connected to his faith, and he gives back to his community a lot in Brazil. Charles holds the records for the most finishes, wins, submissions, and bonuses in the UFC. And he is really good at grappling. He'll win by submission on the ground about 60% of the time. And lastly, we have Michael Chandler. His nickname is Iron Mike, which is kind of an homage to Mike Tyson, who is also fighting this weekend. Chandler is a former Bellator champion. That's an MMA promotion that's not the UFC. He is super athletic and is a great wrestler. He was also a really great wrestler in college. Something kind of interesting about Michael Chandler is that when he started fighting, he did no amateur fights. He went straight to pros, which is really rare. Chandler was a coach on season 31 of The Ultimate Fighter. The Ultimate Fighter is the UFC's kind of reality TV show. And as we mentioned before, his last fight was 2 years ago because he's been getting stood up by Conor McGregor. Michael Chandler is also super nice. He's got this like youth pastor energy. He does motivational speaking. He's got a really cute family with adopted kids. He is number 7 right now in the lightweight rankings. And he's just fun to watch. He's not necessarily the tippy top of the rankings. However, he is aggressive and he always puts on an exciting fight. And that is our SparkNotes rundown of UFC 309. If you know any of these fighters, go ahead and let me know who you're going for down in the comments. Guys, send this to your girlfriends if you're making them watch, and I will see you guys on the next card. Also, hi, hello, my name's Kennedy. I am not new to making this content, however, I am new to YouTube. If you want to see more of my content, you can follow me on here. But this is a new YouTube account, so if you feel like being a homie and liking or commenting or even subscribing, that would be really, really awesome and helps me grow this account. But thank you for watching either way.